in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to sit backs. Into the space that I'm in. They got me by the Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I find no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a dilute. I on the floor on my tongue. Business is warm glue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, and I bet you I'ma blow up. Just throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A bunch of singing in us, man, but you can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up. I'm drinking knife through the game, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, call me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the plaques to use Decepticons. Fake rappers to retreats like Cobra. 80s they can float, they like up in the storage and I'm E-man. Up, down, down, then I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beating. Ninja Turtle rap, turtle clans get defeated. High in my ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can't stop us. LL bad, when I go and show up, you can hear the haters in the back. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Dre Mac, coming to you again with another episode of The Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. You're from the West Coast right now. Go ahead and get up, because you already know that the early bird gets the worm. And on today, we are going to discuss another reaction video. Film criticism versus film grifting. Are we breaking down movies or finessing for clicks? And we already kind of know that answer, especially when it comes to some of the usual suspects, especially the critical drinker, neurotic, so on and so forth. So this is coming for Otterly Noah. I did a reaction video to Otterly Noah before. It seemed like everybody's having their it trust me, there's a lot more people. The more and more I do these reaction videos, and it's not just the Birdman, the more and more I notice that it's not just the Birdman that is going after grifters. No, not at all. It is a lot other people that are tired. You know what I'm saying? Of the whole grifting thing. And again, y'all know how I feel. You know what I mean? The whole thing with with these grifters is that I know who their target is. Their target audience, yes, but who their target is, and who they make fun of the most is us. So again, I'm gonna make a video. Hold on. I need to say this. Because I want you to go in. If you want to, you can go out and check out this video on its own without my commentary. But I do have to make a video why I chose to react and defend the Birdman, because these grifters are, a lot of them are getting ridiculous. And like I said, I'm tired as a black person in this nerd's place. I get tired of trying to be the butt end of the jokes, and then you're wrong, for defending yourself. Oh, you're just a snowflake, and you got all these other words or whatever. But if you was in my face, you wouldn't be saying all of that. You know what I'm saying? You'd be damn near, close to getting slapped if you were saying all the stuff that you were saying on these videos in my face. You know what I mean? And so we're going to do it. Film criticism. This is why I put Jeremy Johns in the thumbnail, because Jeremy Johns is a YouTube film critic that even at the times that I don't agree with him on certain movies that I've watched and I'm listening to him, I respect his opinion. I've been watching Jeremy Johns for a long time since I've been on YouTube. So I will always give him the utmost respect. Unlike, Neurotic and the rest of these jokers that gets nothing from me. Nothing. But hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gant over at the Heavy Gant React channel. But you already know how I do. The real question is, are you
Say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
All right. Oh, excuse me. Let me see who is all in the comment section this morning. Marley Maury, good morning. Michael Johnson, good morning. Kendall Jordan, good morning. Xavier Phoenix, good morning. Erica D, aka She Loves Fantasy, is up here. Good morning. Roberta, the church auntie, is up here. Don't be doing that cussing. Yeah, I'm the only one who can get away with it, not y'all. Good morning. Robbie D is up here. You already know, just like you smash that cake at the wedding, I need you to smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Or just smash cake because you're hungry. You just, smash some biscuits. Now, I know some of y'all probably was eating biscuits over the weekend. Got your KFC pack. You know what I'm saying? You separated the chicken wings from the mac and cheese. You put a little honey on that biscuit. It was all nice and buttery. I know you did. I bet you feeling guilty right now. Got butter biscuit juice all on your lips and on your chin. I seen you. I know. I seen you. Junior Network, good morning. Damon, good morning. Let me see. Maverick 77, Defender, good morning. My man She, good morning. Wavy Thames, good morning. Justice Note is up here. Good morning, man. Let me borrow that hat. You know what I mean? It's getting cool around here, man. I want to be cooler than you. Let me borrow that hat. That's in that picture. Oh man. Let me see. Enrique, good morning. Tina, aka Mintygasm. Oh, you beautiful people up here. Good morning. Krisha K, what's up? Good morning. I love to see y'all in the chat. Now, I do want to run some things before, I get to my usual stuff. I know I've talked about this before and I decided not to, but you know that I'm going to be working on my short film here soon. And I got some construction coming on next week with the basement and all of that. All of this is going to be shut down. It's going to be all over the place. I got to get, stuff moved out the way or whatever so they can work on the foundation. What's up, Goddess Jamila? So they can work with the rest of the foundation, get that sub pump put in here and redirect that water that's trying to leak through my basement, from the front, which I haven't had any issues. But it hasn't rained really hard. This is just the money that I gotta do to prevent measures. Because when I tell you there is a good dollar amount, and when I mean good dollar amount, a good dollar amount of stuff that's in this basement that I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Man, my insurance gonna have to kick me off, break me off, because I got collectibles. So, I mean, Ultimate Fallout is just staring at me right now, the original. So, I have been thinking about this. I'm thinking about seeing if I want to do this starting next year. Still do the show in the morning. Oh, it is. Yup. I mean, and see what's crazy? The arcades by itself done went up in price. I was getting these arcades when they were still like $300. At the most like $450, depending on the arcade. They are expensive now. So yeah, there's money down here. You know what I'm saying? Plus all the collectibles and stuff like that. The NECA collectibles, my comics, you know what I'm saying? All of that, it's a lot in here. So I've been thinking like really, really, really hard about this. Still do the show 7:30 in the morning. But I'm really thinking about this. It will be pre-recorded, but I will be in the chat. With y'all. I've been thinking about this, really thinking about this. Because unlike Twitch, YouTube is not favorable. Because I do want the channel to grow. Everybody wants their channel to grow, and I love y'all, but I want to bring more people into what we're doing here. You know what I mean? And I want this channel to grow. So I've been thinking about, still doing the show, but it will be pre-recorded. You guys get to still have the same show. You can still super chat, all of that. You know what I'm saying? I would just have to acknowledge you guys on the next video. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. In the comments, if you watch this on a replay or in the chat, because I've really been thinking about this like really, 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 really hard. And I've been talking to other YouTubers who have way bigger platforms than I do. And the way that, so unlike Twitch, YouTube is just not favorable to streamers. And basically that's what I'm doing. I'm streaming a live show every morning. But it's not favorable because they don't push this stream out to other people until it's over with, it's rendered after 24 hours, and then it'll get pushed. And then slowly but surely, you know what I'm saying, is here. Other people get to watch it. I get to bring people over. But I just been really, really, really thinking about it. But I love you guys' interaction. And I'm like, I will still be in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I will still be in the chat with you guys. It's just I'm not acknowledging you guys from the very jump, which I think for me, because I've been doing this now, especially me going over just at 7:30 in the morning. I didn't think that was going to work. I remember talking to Chillmugger about it. He was like, ain't nobody going to get up that early in the morning, watch your show. He didn't say it like that. But he was just like, it's a risk or whatever. And I just said, skip it. I was just going to do it anyway. And the more and more I did this, the more and more people start showing up in the morning. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. We've had, especially during the Jonathan Majors trial, we had hundreds of people in here in the morning. So, which, happy belated birthday to him. But I really want the channel to grow. And the only way that it just seems like that YouTube would push this through the algorithm even more, so more people can see this if it's just a video. So I will come home, long day of work, record, you know what I'm saying, upload it, make sure that it pops up at 7:30 in the morning. No, just have it pop up just like normal, still tasting the biscuits, the whole nine. It's just gonna be pre-recorded. Um, a little piece of me feel like that's the niche that I have is that I love doing this in the morning live. I love it. But I do. I'm contemplating. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Like I said, I've talked to the guy that I always shout out because I'm the reason why I shout out Heavy Get because I'm using what he says. That I'm giving. I'm not stealing nobody's stuff. Again, that's my guy, so he already knows. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing he says. You know, he says, hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. He's a big health nut. You know what I'm saying? It keeps himself in shape. Was a big dude. End up being cock diesel. You know what I'm saying? You know, because he works out. So he's big on health, big on a healthy body, getting your body in shape, all of that. So, you know, that's why I say that. But even he said, bro, your show is, need to say it's better than my use, but you got a niche. Don't you want everybody else to see it? You might have to pre-record it and just upload it and still be in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I was gonna do live shows every other Saturday, you know, anyway, just to kind of like hang with you guys. And that's something that I seen even the Birdman do. I mean, he's doing, you know, he's streaming his game and all of that, but it's just a live hangout. You know what I'm saying? To talk to you guys. So I'm just contemplating things that'll still be Monday through Friday. There's still nothing will change except it won't be live. It'll be taped. So tell me what you guys think. A little piece of me, if it is dying inside, I even didn't want to talk about it just yet. But I just felt like because I love you guys, I want to hear what you guys have to say. You know what I mean? I just want to hear you guys' input. You know, so again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Still show up in the morning because you never know what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? So please still show up. Even if I'm not live, still show up. You know what I mean? Because I need you guys' support. I appreciate you guys. And then when I have my live shows, you know, if I do it Saturday, we're still going to do Blurred AF anyway. We still do Blurred AF on Monday evenings anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about, so is Blurred AF going to be taped? Hell no. We're still going to do live shows. I'm still going to be arguing with Blue. Mika's still going to be looking at us like we're crazy, and that's how we going to get it done. You know what I mean? Mika go bring the horror. You know what I'm saying? My face brings the horror. So that's all. I mean, we got it set. But again, I appreciate you guys. Again, I love you guys dearly. I thank you. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get that out there to you guys. But matter of fact, since you guys are here, let me shout out all you beautiful, magnificent people that have been just holding it down for me. For real. You guys are freaking amazing. And I appreciate y'all. Let me just show you my gratitude. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you know you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that have been holding it down for Dre Mack and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. And again, I appreciate all you beautiful people that are here. Mika G, I already sent you a message. You just stop playing with me. But what's up? Make sure you guys are checking out, of course, Cinematic Nightmares, Pam Entertainment Television, Blues House Live, my man Chillmonger. over at the Chillmonger channel. Make sure you checking these guys out. Junior Network, Tori and Rain Reloaded. All these guys that hang with me, they come in here. Make sure that you guys are handling your business. So go over there and like and subscribe to their channels and check them out. Mika just had a excellent interview with a guy who does this horror hot sauce, and he does like horror conventions. But he said something interesting when he's talking about if you want to be a filmmaker. When I was listening to the video last night when I was at work, but he was like, if you want to be a filmmaker, don't take my advice. Just go do it. Just go do it, and keep doing it, and keep doing it, and keep doing it until you get it, until you get what you want to get. So this little joker right here is along with my other Sony, but this little joker right here is about to be the catalyst for me for my first film. So yeah. Tyler J, good morning. All right, Mika, stop playing with me. But yeah, YouTube most definitely pushes they'll push a video, because the way that YouTube works. See, when I do these live videos, I could be playing something and then get hit with a copyright strike. Like literally, I'm like, for real, this is what we doing today? They just hit me with a copyright strike way after the video was already done. I'm at home, I'm chilling, all of that stuff. With the if I pre-record it, upload it, then what happen is they go through all the stuff or whatever, check to make sure none of that's in there. You can do your edit or whatever, you can blur it out, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then the video will upload, and then they can push it through the algorithm. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. But if I do it, you know what I'm saying, then you know why I'm doing it. Because like I said, I do want the channel to grow. But I don't want to miss you know what I'm saying, you guys in the morning. I love doing this in the morning live. I think because coming from my background, my active background is theater. So I'm used to getting on stage performing. You know what I mean? That is my talent. The former media, what's up? That's what I'm good at. It's always I've lettered in I mean I've went to state, and I got third place to state for improv duet acting, because I improv when I was doing comedy. I improv'd all my jokes. I literally won open mic night 3 times in a row doing improv, just making stuff up as I go. I was like, oh, I got a couple jokes in my head and just said it. I don't know how. Still don't know, because I ain't that funny. Funny looking, yeah, but I ain't that damn funny. But I won open mic night 3 times in a row at an old comedy club called Stanford's here, and it was one of the biggest comedy clubs here. Still don't know, but I did improv. So all of this that I'm doing, it's just me naturally. So I think that's the only thing. When I'm doing videos, man, I ain't gonna lie, I suck sometimes because I'm too much of a perfectionist in my head, you know. But you know what else I'm perfecting? This butter biscuit. Can't wait to eat this butter biscuit. I'm gonna be right back with more of the Dre Mack Show.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever on the road with only giant hits and legendary stars.
Biscuit. I know the truth about it. I love. Oh, how I love this biscuit. Oh, how I love this biscuit. It is the best biscuit. I know.
This treasury is not sold in stores, and when you call the toll-free number now, you also get another entire album of all-time gospel favorites.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right. I'm about to start grifting, y'all. That's why I'm telling you this now. I'm about to start grifting. That's where the money's at, baby. The money's in grifting. I'm about to just start grifting. I don't know what to grift to. Y'all pick a grift. Hold on, wait a minute. If I was a grifter, right? If I was a grifter, what do you think that I would grift to? Put it, I would. what genre? What do you think I would grift to? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments because I want to hear what you guys got to say. All right, let's get to this video. Film criticism versus film grifting. Where can you truly draw the line? Let's get to this video. But put it in the comment section. What genre or what would I grift to? And it better be funny too. I want to read them because it better be fun. Y'all better have y'all best material. Because I'm a grifter now. So what am I grifting to? Put it in the comment section or put it in the chat. Y'all in the chat, put it in the chat right now. I want to hear it. All right, let's go. Let's go.
So this month marks the 4th month of me having started my video series of debunking different grifters and bad faith criticisms of media.
Hey, he did 4 months. The Birdman got a year. I think I've been doing this for 8 months. I mean, look at us. Look at us go. Shout out to him too.
I started back with my video on anti-woke film criticism not being real criticism, which in turn was spawned from a frustration of mine of seeing people who didn't really seem to understand how to describe why a film project or television show or game that they may have been looking forward to might have failed beyond just calling it quote-unquote woke. Inevitably, a lot of these people are either anti-woke grifters themselves or someone who may have been influenced by this particular mentality, whether intentionally or not. Personally, as someone who really loves film and wants to see more people truly diving into what works about a film and what they love about it, or discussing what might have caused a film to fail in their personal opinion and discussing what went wrong about it in their eyes, it's definitely frustrating to see what could be this more layered, legitimate kind of criticism and see it just boiled down to it's woke, or there's DEI hires, or this is too stunning and brave. The first
and the word let's for all y'all newbies, the word woke in DI is synonymous to people that look like me. And don't let you look like me and be a woman, or don't let you look like me and be gay or lesbian or part of the LGBT community, period. Because it's going to be, oh my God, what are they doing? It's an agenda. It's this, that, and the other. Yada, 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 yada. Like that stuff has not already been in film since, I don't know, forever. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like that. Synonymous. What did I say? Synonymous. I can hear Chillmonger now. It's synonymous, eh? Hey, synonymous. Shut up, Chill, because I can hear you. I can hear you breathing hard, saying the words, and going "a" at the end of it. But it's still, it has something to do with us. It's always if it's a black lead. Like I said, the biggest portion of this, it was still Ironheart. I think Ironheart really brought it out. It brought out the black grifters as long as the white grifters. And y'all know the black grifter I called out. You know what I mean? So it brought out both of them. You know, and the black grifter was like, this is just, she got to commit crimes. She just got to commit crimes. So every one of our heroes, you know, they have to have the black one commit crimes. So white people commit crimes, and that's fair game. But black people that does something, that run with something, they always make it way bigger than what it is. Right? This is the black ones. This is the Taste the Biscuit crew, not the saltines. And I know some of y'all white people think I'm talking about crackers. No, salty. Just let me taste some tears, because y'all be salty. Salty tears. Woke. I want to taste some tears. I like all that salt. So, no, not calling you a cracker, because then I'm calling you the master with a whip. That's why I don't use the word cracker. Sorry, that ain't what I mean. Kino Flex and whoever else that be watching these videos. That's not what I mean when I say saltine. I mean, unless you want to be that, but that's not what I'm calling you. It's not the reason why. But, you know, with the black grifters, they want to be in that lane. They're not even invited to the table in that lane. So of course I'm gonna call out the Butter Biscuit crew. They want to be in that lane. They want to say, stuff so bad. They want to be in that lane so bad that they will repeat the same stuff. They will go do reaction videos and laugh and giggle and have a thumb head next to it, and then get mad and block you on Twitter when you don't even use that. You know what I mean? But you block me anyway. Okay. Ooh. You see what I mean? So, the white ones use it, and they use these far right wing, out of context words, especially when it comes to us. That's why one of the reasons why I defend the Birdman. And he black, and he be making sense. So, yeah. All right, let's keep going.
So the video I did on this, called Anti-Woke Film Criticism is Not Real Criticism, was something I made out of a personal exhaustion of seeing this kind of bad faith criticism. And funny enough, after making that video, I found I wasn't even the only one who felt that way, given all the comments that came flooding in on that video from others who shared similar grievances with this kind of quote-unquote film review and wanted to see things revert back to proper film discourse.
Yes.
Since that video's release, I've tackled not just anti-woke grifters, but also grifters that are more left-leaning, such as Movie Bob, and I have a few more that I plan to tackle in the future in this Hunting Griffly Bears series as well. Looking at you, Sloan, in your Steven Spielberg video, and yes, I've officially decided to call this series Hunting Griffly Bears. Why? Because it's funny.
Not Hunting Griffly Bears. Now, that's funny. I'm sorry. That's funny. That is funny. Of course, when I did Birdman's video, reacted to his utterly Noah's video came out, a couple other people's videos I've been running into, and I'm not lying, a lot of people are just tired. They are tired of the grift. They're tired because nobody wants to, as much as those channels, like, really the only one is really, I think, eating this Critical Drinker. You know what I'm saying? I think he's the only one that's really eating. DeAndre Mosley, what's up? I think he's the only one that's really eating. Everybody else ain't eating like that. Like, they're starting to go down. Like, because look at what your criticism is. It's not over the content. It's not that you're watching the videos. Again, this is why I had a problem with the black grifters on Ironheart. And you know damn well you was grifted. And you got mad because I called you out. Because you grifted. And you was hanging with grifters, wanting to be a part of grifters. You know what I mean? You thought you was grifting until they said, then you start seeing the real colors. This is what happened. You know what I'm saying? You start seeing the real colors of those people, right? During certain events that happen in real life. And then you're like, do I need to be associated with these people anymore? I don't know. I don't know if I should be associated with these people no more. See, you grifted to something else because you like that grift money. When you was getting that grift money, it felt good. You put a little money in your pockets. But you lost your dignity when you put that money in your pocket. Because really, you start seeing it, you start eating the biscuits. Start tasting the biscuits, and they taste real good. Real good, because you started to see the little money that came in. And then when the grift starts slowing down, you had to grift to something else. Because you had to latch on to something else. And you had to do this, you had to do that. Because if you was really being yourself, if your group was really being yourself, would you have the number of subscribers that you got? You probably wouldn't. So that's the problem. Tyrone Madness is feeling this right now because you got a grift. Now you're grifting so hard, you just talking about what Trump got going on or whatever. Like, are you tasting the biscuits that bad? I mean, my man, Winnie got the honey right there. Gee.
We'll have a little nausea for a few hours.
The name was actually suggested on a recent stream of mine, and I liked it so much that I decided to stick with it. But since doing these videos and making it very clear why I do them, I've actually seen some people wanting me to make a video solely defining what a grifter is, and personally, I can really see why, since even in my own comments section at times, I've seen some people confused on what exactly a grifter is defined as. And inevitably, I've also seen people in the comments attempt to call me a grifter as well for doing these videos calling grifters out. This is something
This is what they do, big dog. Ask Birdman, and Birdman go way harder than you, big dog. But they call me a grifter, and I guess let me read some of my grifter names in here. It said my black grifter name is Dre Ababadu Mabase Mabasaba Makusa Mac. Yeah, you should have put Jenkins at the end of that. Because people ask me what's my name, I'll be like Muhammad Shabazz Mamar Amuk Jenkins Jackson. It said grift those action figures. That's what I'm be over here doing. Let me see. My man, grifter get you right. Grifter go grift. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to side no my niece mas. I don't care. Grifted biscuits. You will make all the Ninja Turtles white. Grifted turtles. Trump. Not the I'm about to say I can grift some biscuits though. Your third world name is Jenkins. But yeah, they call you a grifter. They'll tell you ain't. Oh, because you ain't got the amount of subscribers that they got. You're a hater. You're a hater. These movies are dumb and stupid. They are pushing an agenda. Then why are you watching? This is what I don't understand. If you think they're pushing an agenda, why are you watching it? But again, if I go watch The Last Dragon, right? There was a trans person in the film. Don't hurt him, baby. Oh, nobody in the 80s was like, man, they pushing an agenda. Why they gotta have trans people in there or whatever? Which there's a name that they use for that character that's no longer used anymore. But you see what I mean? Like, it's always been gay people in movies, in Hollywood, and all of that. It's always been black people in movies in Hollywood, depending on how they were depicted, but it's always been that. But see, again, this is an easy way because when you rile up a base like this, you know, if they're dumb enough to give you their money, then hell, I mean, kind of, I'm not mad at it. You're just picking the lowest portion of people that are stupid, and they're paying you for it. I can't really get mad about that.
Admittedly expected to happen, knowing what I was getting myself into when I first started going on this journey 4 months ago now, since at this point, pretty much everyone who directly calls out grifters on this platform has been called a grifter themselves at one point or another by the exact fans of the people that they're criticizing. Channels like Boobies with Mark, Anthony Gramuglia, and the Birdman have also had similar things happen to them as well.
Yes,
especially in the Birdman's case, he made a video a while back as part of his Exposing the Grift series discussing how he had people inevitably calling him a grifter in his own comments under that series. Funny enough, in one of my own videos recently, both me and the Birdman were called Disney shills and grifters by the same user, which I find very funny. Anyone who knows me knows how much I've criticized modern Disney for constantly remaking a lot of their classic animated movies and live action, as well as how they've run Marvel and Star Wars into the ground by pure means of oversaturating content in theaters and on Disney+. I've also criticized them for killing off Blue Sky Studios and then resurrecting the Ice Age film series for a 6th movie after destroying the studio that originally created it. Wow, way to go, guys. Obviously, I'll point out when I think Disney does something right as well, however, like when I commended them on bringing back the magic of animation area to Hollywood studios and Disney World, even though it can feel like they have a lot less W's these days lately for certain. And really, the Birdman takes the same approach when criticizing Disney as I do. If he or me see something from them we like, we'll say we like it. If we see something we don't like, we'll say why. And funny enough, this is often the component you will see most grifters lack with their own discourse on movies or other media. Rather than actually dissecting why they don't like a piece of media, they'll usually just give some superficial reason as to why they think it's woke propaganda or whatever buzzword term they might happen to have handy at the time. They'll usually pick up.
So now they're saying grifting is now a new buzzword. That's what Keno Flex said in his live stream. I got 25 minutes into that. I'm like, yo, he's gonna nitpick everything that I say. He's not gonna let it cook. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna nitpick it. So I don't even want to watch this because now it's gonna go on for 4 hours. And I'm not sitting around for 4 hours to listen to you nitpick. You know what I'm saying? Get to what you got to say and keep going. Sorry, I disagree. The so-called grifters are popular because people watch content that reaffirms their own belief. Yes, They do. Even though the belief is trash, bigoted, racist propaganda. So you're absolutely correct.
Things that really don't matter at the end of the day when it comes to critical analysis, like getting mad at the Daniel Craig James Bond films for having a black.
So Knuckles came in and said, I'm defending my people today. The Birdman's a grifter. He's grifting. How? When he's been making satire reaction videos to Everything Is Wrong With for years. It's where he got his bones at. Right? So how did he grift? Exposing grifters is not grifting. Matter of fact, since we're here and you're here, I'm gonna have to defend my homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to defend the homie real quick. Y'all don't mind if I defend the homie. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think you know what grifting really means. So just so I can be for sure, Knuckles, since you're in here, let's show you what exactly this term means. In the dictionary terms, grift refers to the act of obtaining money or property through illicit means like a confidence game or scam, while a grifter is a person who engages in this deceptive practice. That means you're actively lying. You're actively lying. Birdman has called out Hills versus Babyface, has called out Neurotic, has called out the Critical Drinker, has called out Thumbhead. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone Madness, and grifter after grifter after grifter after grifter, calling them out on their blatant lying and deceptive tactics. That is what a grifter is. Let's continue. Since you thought I was just being funny because I didn't say synonymous right, but let me give you this. The term can be applied to anyone who uses fraud. So when you're lying and you're deceptively using words, right? Deceptively using words like DEI and woke and other buzzword words normally used by right-wing conservatives, especially on news channels that get you to think in a certain type of way that is not the whole total truth, but a ideology that they want to push. Guess what? That is a deceptive, fraudulent practice because it's not the total amount of information. They only give you what they want you to know to get your blood boiling. And I bet you I got your blood boiling right now because you came in here and I'm going to give it to you. All right, let's keep going. Swindles and trickery to gain an advantage. I'm going to get all these people to follow me because I'm going to get you to rile up your fan base. That's why you came here to defend your people. That's why you came here to say the Birdman's a grifter. That's why you did it, because it riled up your little blood ball, the little blood in your body. And you was like, ooh, I'm going to defend them today. The Birdman ain't going to get away with this today. Nah, big dog, he got help. He got help today. Okay. In trickery or to gain an advantage, and has been used in a political contest to describe those who exploit the political system for personal enrichment. So when you're using this grift to be able to swindle or trick the mindless, robotic people that's out there that don't think for themselves, that this movie is woke and it's DEI and they're doing this and doing that, and you don't actually use your brain to look at it for yourself. Look at it for yourself and say, is it really pushing an agenda? Oh, is a black person being in this movie really that bad? Is it really DEI? Because if the president uses it, then it got to be right? It got to be right, unless it's somebody that doesn't conform to the same political structure or the political party that you lean to. Because you're not using your brain. You don't want to use your brain. You want somebody to think for you. And the Critical Drinker, Hills versus Babyface, Neurotic, Geeks and Gamers, all those people think for you. That's why you're repeating their talking points. You're not using factual information. Webster's Dictionary is right here, my guy. Webster's Dictionary says grift is a verb to obtain money or property illicitly as a confidence game to acquire money illicitly. A grifter might be a pickpocket, a crooked gambler, scammer, or a confidence man. Grift may have come from graft, a slightly older word meaning to acquire dishonesty. Anytime that you get on here on YouTube and you start talking crazy, you ain't watched nothing, you don't want to watch nothing, you keep using buzzwords, you keep riling up your fan base, you are being dishonest, and I'm done. You can't come back from that, big dog. You can't come back from that. Now, I'm not left. I'm not a left winger. I'm an independent. What do you got to say now? Let's get this off of here. Let's get you off of here. I already said I just said what I said.
Black version of Moneypenny, or getting mad at the latest Predator film for having a Native American woman in the lead role. But now this begs the question, what is grifting and what is real criticism, and how can we know how to spot either one? Well, that's exactly what I want to discuss today. I want to dissect the different kinds of grifting you might find exists in the world, and also where to find real criticism even in the midst of it. Especially today more than ever, I think understanding media literacy and how to properly criticize a piece of media is really important. And that's really why I started doing this series to begin with. So without further ado, let's discuss what criticism versus grifting is. To start, let's further dive into the idea of anti-grifters being grifters in their own right, supposedly. While this is actually a common thing that people do try to paint for people that debunk grifters overall, it's pretty easily debunked in itself once you look at the content of any of those kinds of channels. Nice. And in this case, that also includes my channel. If I really wanted to be a grifter, I wouldn't be giving something like Pixar's Elio a good review in a video to itself. If you look at the most viewed videos on Elio from the time it came out, especially from those that are generally seen as grifters from the majority of perspectives out there, you can see that the videos that went all in on bashing Elio got a lot of viewership. Bashing Elio superficially without really dissecting what may or may not have worked about the film is...
That's what I'm talking about. Most of these people come on here, they just say stuff. Most of these grifters just say stuff because they know it's going to rile up who they're catering to. That's it. They don't watch these movies. They're not like Jeremy Jahns. Jeremy Jahns broke down, I think it was Happy Gilmore 2. And legitimately broke down moments of the movie that he liked, moments of the movie that he did not like. You know what I'm saying? It gave you exactly what he thought, you know, at the end of it and why you should or should not watch the movie. You know how easy that is? To see, he didn't have to use buzzwords like my guys over here talking about some DEI. It's funny how people mention DEI and forgot that affirmative action has been going on ever since the 80s. And it's just like how you were saying the same thing. Do you know white people who did not want black people in certain positions because they believe affirmative action? Hey, you're just an affirmative action hire. That's the same thing as you're just a DEI hire. But then I could be able to prove to you statistics that white women benefit from affirmative action and DEI more than anybody else that it was supposedly designed for. So shut it up. Shut it up.
Something that was sold very easily by a lot of grifters around this time.
And these professional Disney photographers, the guy who took Michael Eisner's board pictures, taught us how to take pictures the Disney way. And it wasn't even the Disney way, it was the professional way. And the first thing they taught us, and if any of you know anything about art, you'll understand what this is, but it's called the rule of thirds. While watching Elio,
what up, Ty?
I couldn't help but notice throughout 80% of the movie, all the action was in the dead center of the screen. Would you concur with that, Chris?
Yes.
And it just seems like Elio and Pixar and Disney, especially with Wish, they decide that they are going to take their movie and just violate all the rules of art.
Now, it is one thing to make a film that isn't well written and is not interesting.
Did Birdman call her Dildo Baggins? That's still hilarious.
But what I want to talk about first is the animation. Now, I heard a review going into this video that also called Elio the worst Pixar movie ever made. And that video really just narrowed in on the animation and how this movie completely abandons basic animation.
Knuckles, you have no idea what
principles.
you're talking about.
Now, if you have done any sort of filmmaking or filmmaking study at all, as I have done, then you will know this very basic rule, the rule of thirds. What is the rule of thirds? It's that you should position your character, your subject, your action in the either left or right third of the screen. Why? Because it forces the audience's eye to move to that angle. It forces them to move to whatever off-center angle it is and continuously engage with the action.
As someone who's done, let me see, I've done a couple of, little things or whatever, little skits, and let me tell you, I give you from a stage play point of view because I'm doing my first film, but the reason why you wanted the character to be in frame like this, so you can see, what's up, Rashad Walker? So you could be able to see the expression of the actor or the character and what they're reacting to. 9 times out of 10 on film. If you wanted to be center, then most of the time for me, and I didn't go to film school, so I'm not about to sit up here and be like, well, the way that I interpret it, just in my mind, just studying film, is that you want to get that character's complete emotion. I give you a prime example on this. Spike Lee was good about doing that, centering the character while they're on the dolly moving screen, where they're in the little rolling spot, so you can see that character's emotions. She's Gotta Have It. Is it She Gotta Have It or Do the Right Thing? Was one where you just see the character and he's emotioning. They did it. Spike Lee with Denzel's movie, I think. Not Man on Fire. Good Lord. The heist movie that they did after 9/11, when they center the character. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, what is she getting at? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Now, this is just one of the most basic rules of filmmaking that anyone knows. But when I saw the film, that review only slightly prepared me for what? Because yes, everything in Elio is portrayed dead center in the film, to a distracting level, to an almost comical level.
I find it so funny that Film Threat initially brings up the supposed criticism of Elio by talking about the rule of thirds, even though that really has nothing to do with the quality of the film or the story. Since a lot of acclaimed Pixar films actually break this rule as well. And then, of course, Jester Bella decides to go ahead and try to parrot this talking point that doesn't make any sense to begin with.
Really? It doesn't. Because, again, if you're taking a character, like I said, the Inside Man, Malcolm X, they did it in Malcolm X. Spike Lee was one of the rare people who did that type of style when you're trying to see the emotion of a character, and did it in that particular motion. That's been going on since like film has started. You like, she's center. I'm center. When I'm center, I want all the attention to be here. There's nothing else. My background, all of that doesn't matter. The reason why I'm center, so you can be able to watch me, because now I'm the lead. I'm the voice that you're hearing. She's dead center. She's not at a third. She's not over to the right or the left. She's right in the middle. Why? Because it's easier to see, and you're not distracted by her background. So now, in the dead center of Frodo over here, you can be able to see her face and wonder why she hasn't put it on the ring yet or called it her precious. Let me keep going.
It just shows a lot about how these guys really think about criticism. Channels like Geeks and Gamers, Jester Bell, and Clownfish TV, of course, went all in on this, and they even made multiple videos about the subject long after the movie had already come out. They continued to try and strike the same stone over and over again, trying to milk as much negative content that they could from Elio. And really, the majority of the content made on Elio from these people, even the ones that were phrased as actual reviews, didn't really come off as real reviews at all. rather than actually looking at Elio as a film and talking about the things that really matter when reviewing a film, such as storytelling, pacing, characterization, and things like that. They were just talking about things like box office numbers and the fact that the film previously had queer themes in it that they didn't like. If I had really wanted to be a grifter, I probably would have done the same thing here, but I personally liked Elio, and so I gave it a good review and left it at that.
I've never seen Elio, but from what I've heard it is a good movie. I heard it's a good movie. Kid Gravity, thank you so very much for coming, a brand new member. Let me go ahead and like it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out here fighting the Biscuit Crew.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
Like I said, even those who are going to come here to defend grifters or is going to parrot it, talk it political points, they have nothing to do with what we're talking about here. They always going to come in and talk about political. Again, I want you to shut up and watch the movie. Just like how that lady told LeBron James to shut up and dribble, shut up and watch the movie. I don't want politics in my movie. Does that sound familiar? It sounds like a right ringer that was telling somebody they don't want politics in sports. I don't want politics in my movies.
Go to one extreme and then make a bunch of videos continuing to go to that extreme to try to sell my audience on Elio being woke propaganda or the worst Pixar film ever or something like that. I enjoyed the movie a pretty decent amount, talked about why, and then left it at that. And really, that's what criticism should look like overall. Not continuing to grind the same superficial acts over and over or the same personal gripes you have with a piece of media or the people behind it, but just giving your honest thoughts on the piece of media itself and then leaving it at that. And obviously that sounds simple, but the reality is, in a grifter situation, they'll just do that and take the easy route to gain as much traction as possible. Right. I don't do that because I don't think like that. I think like a critic. If I enjoy something, I'll say why I enjoy it and why specifically I was able to enjoy it. Same if I don't like something, I'll discuss in specifics why I don't like that product. This also is the case with my Love in the Spectrum review. I do know a good chunk of people, even other people on the spectrum, who really like that show. However, I didn't. Rather than going with the majority of the vote in the show and saying it was really good, I talked about why I personally didn't like it and the things I disagreed with. However, I also did make sure to bring up the things that I think Love in the Spectrum actually does right, rather than just making the whole thing a scathing, overly negative review full of superficial talking points, like a lot of these grifters do. If you're feeling like you don't like a piece of media, or if you do like one, you shouldn't have to pretend the opposite, and especially the extreme opposite, just to gain brownie points or clout. And you especially shouldn't have to bring superficial things into it that really don't matter when you're criticizing a piece of media anyway, and really that's exactly what these grifters do. They want to sell their audience on the idea of quote-unquote wokeness ruining every movie out there, when really that's not the case at all.
Facts. And when it comes to wokeness, again, when people mention DEI, they're mentioning people that's the same color as me. This is why I go so hard at grifters. You know what I'm saying? This guy, Knuckles WTD, is making just baseless argument with no facts in the comment section and in the chat. There's no facts to what you're talking about, but you're so hard to defend these grifters because these grifters are telling you what they want you to hear, not what you should know. You know what I mean? Like, you're saying stuff over and over again when there's been black people in films. There's been strong white women in films being the lead. Hell, Sarah Connor was one. You know what I mean? And she was a badass. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a Mary Sue. She wasn't even fine like that. You know what I'm saying? But you take like the sister that's getting ready to play Jade in Mortal Kombat. Oh, but she cut her hair. What is this? What is they doing? This is DEI. This is woke. This is this. This is that. This is this. This is that. You make it a political talking point for nothing because it has no base in it because you have no facts. F-A-C-T-S. Facts. You have no facts. Facts.
Movies like Sinners or Superman or Wicked were all critical and commercial hits despite having a lot of the elements that these guys always consider quote-unquote woke. Huh? Gee, it's almost like go woke, go broke isn't a real thing at all.
It's not.
Not coming back.
It's also this constant seeking for mass attention and wanting to have the biggest platform possible to push their own agenda that leads them to not even cover any classic or underrated cinema. You will only ever see these guys cover current popular American mainstream movies rather than things that could be more niche and more interesting to talk about and highlight. This is something that I and a lot of others routinely make a point of doing. As someone who just loves film, I would like more people to get invested into lesser known projects. Like in my Stop Disrespecting Animation video, even though I obviously did talk about a good chunk of mainstream animation, and that was on the thumbnail for obvious reasons to get people initially interested in the video, I also made sure to dedicate an entire segment of the video to recommending things like Fantastic Planet, Breadwinner, Ghostic, and a lot of animation that people might not have heard of before. I'll also be doing the same thing in my upcoming video about adult animation, so stay tuned for that. While obviously it's good to enjoy mainstream projects, and obviously I enjoy a lot of these myself, I think it's also important to shine a light on the more obscure or unknown projects from other countries, or more art house based studios. Or heck, even just shining a light on classic cinema to try and introduce it to a new generation, which I also do. Ultimately, the grifters won't do that because, let's face it, that's not something that would get them clicks. Constantly talking about mainstream American films is the easiest way for them to get instant clicks and continue.
What part of everything that you have said in this chat is false? Don't you understand, my guy? Jeez, it sounds like I'm talking to myself. I guess I am. But my man is right. It's funny how every time these grifters talk about, this film is this film is that, they never have a recommendation on what film to be able to watch, to get that real good feeling that you used to have in the yesteryears. They never tell you that.
To sell this lie to their audience. This is exactly why you see them constantly make the same recycled thumbnails on mainstream media, usually with a female actress or a person of color front and center on their thumbnail and using AI to alter it. Once you really look at how these guys present themselves and operate, which in all honesty doesn't take a whole lot of deep digging, it becomes very clear their goal here isn't really to discuss the film, but simply to push their own agenda. They attempt to sell their audience this lie and encourage bigotry by farming outrage on popular movies that they know a lot of people like. This goes for Critical Drinker, Altiori, Nerdrotic, Snarky J, Jester Bell, Rev Says Desu, Natalie X Hunter, Tactical Templar, Geeks and Gamers, Ranting for Vengeance, or any of the guys I've covered here on the channel. Also, if you'd like to see a follow-up video to this in this particular style where I tackle the distinct difference between real game criticism and grifting, let me know down below. I think that could actually be a really interesting topic since, in a lot of ways, game grifters are actually even more toxic than film grifters. Some film grifters may attempt to be more subtle about it than others, like a lot of the anti-woke pick-me girls that I've discussed generally don't put their beliefs out front and center. Heck, they might not even use the word woke explicitly in their videos, even though it is very clear they do want to be praised and accepted by that crowd. Others, however, may make their agenda they're trying to push incredibly obvious.
What did I say?
The character on the right is.
What did I say? Now, it's funny because the guy who's in the chat arguing about this person is a grifter and what did I say, he brought up just to prove a point, let's go back up in this chat and let's find what you said about let's see. You said about, let me see. Now, he's discussing a game, right? Kid Gravity Beyond, the new DEI policy that the 2020s are like stimulus checks. They come with baggage. It's why 2000s and 90s eras games or products come with different area warnings. So basically, you're trying to push DEI and say the reason why the sister's on here, because she wouldn't have been on here in the 90s, even though that they didn't even have any type of graphics that was that good or whatever, on there, even though there were black people that was in games or whatever. But let's just get off of that. This is woke compared to them, and this is what you're holding your hat to. People who discuss a black person being in the game and call it too woke to buy. This is the lane you want to jump in. This is the lane you want to defend. What does that make you? When you don't like if black people is on there, this is too woke. Black person on there is woke. If that was a young white woman, wouldn't say that. So what is that telling me? What is that telling me about yourself? the way that you feel about, you come in here, you defending, you talking about DEI. But if DEI was so egregious, why are the majority of MCU movies, let's just stick in that realm, and MCU content still majority white male? Tell me that. Go through the whole filmography. Matter of fact, just go through from 2020, since you're bringing that up. Go from 2020 and look at every single film or piece of media that Marvel came out with and say to yourself, is it led by somebody of color? Is it led by a woman? And you would see the majority of the films in media is still white male led. I rest my case.
Who do you think that ugly looking freak on the right is? So having an ugly, black, looking money penny, already that in itself is the wrong thing to do.
Before the film came out, there was unending praise for this fat Asian bitch, because apparently being the first fat Asian bitch in a Star Wars movie means you're
the bigotry.
a good actress.
That Knuckles. That's what you want to be on.
I'm curious to meet a new character for the series, Shrek.
A potato in a wig.
Fat Asian is called Rose, and she is the new Jar Jar Binks of this story.
Pedro Pascal in a wife beater, walking around looking for his shirt or something.
Young
and with the
trash.
homo Freddie Mercury mustache and the brown skin, he looks like he's walking around looking for his taco or his boyfriend.
I think
Knuckles, this is who you want to defend. Presetta, good morning. This is who you want to defend, big dog? This is who you want to defend.
It is really funny when these guys have a mask off moment and are just incredibly open about the fact they are doing a grift and they're aware of that. Or when they don't even try to hide the fact that they're racist. However, there are times when some of them will try to defend the fact that they're a grifter, such as Altiori. Altiori has been labeled as a grifter by a lot of people, of course, and rightfully so. She does have a very clear agenda with her channel, and most of it is leaning into anti-woke sentiments and trying to make the claim that all female protagonists are bad and trying to sell her audience on that idea. Funny enough, though, not too long ago, she actually...
This is kind of like the young lady that we was watching a couple days ago when we was doing the reaction video, and she was talking about how modern women are this and modern women are that. And all of the women that was in the comment section were like, she just grifted to the incels. Who can't get women, and just to say, well, all women are bad. That's why you got to get toys and whatever, because all women are bad, basically. You know what I mean? And that's why I say I could see that just based on, the thumbnails and the lane that she's pushing. I can understand where you're coming from.
tried to make a video claiming that she wasn't a grifter and trying to debunk these claims. Let's see what she had to say.
And it's so freaking annoying because, once again, it's one of those cases where people are using words and don't know what they mean. It's also people misusing words in an attempt to insult people who don't agree with them. And that's what I want to talk about today. Discussion time.
Oh, here we go.
So there was an announcement trailer made for the Witcher 4 game, and I know there are a lot of fans of the franchise. I'll be open and honest in saying that I'm not a hardcore fan of The Witcher. I don't even want to consider myself a fan of The Witcher. I had the Witcher 3 game for the longest while, and what really made me interested in it was after I saw the Witcher show with Henry Cavill. His story, Geralt of Rivia, basically ended with a trilogy. For everything I learned about him, because I was interested in his character, still accepting that I don't know every single thing there is to know about him, just like Godzilla, for which I still consider myself a new fan, even though I know considerably more about Godzilla than I do Geralt of Rivia. I know that he is the face of The Witcher. I know that his adopted daughter Ciri plays major roles in the story as well, and she's a key figure in his story, but the main franchise itself is from the perspective of Geralt. I don't think anybody can disagree with that because that's a fact. I mentioned in that video, which you should go watch because people started commenting before they even watched the video. Like, the video was literally posted a minute ago, and it's a 15-minute video. They post the comment as soon as they saw the video drop.
God, I kind of hope she gets to the point.
And they just looked at the title and thumbnail like, yep, I'm going to comment. Newsflash, if you're going to respond to someone, at least have the intellect to wait and see what they have to say in totality before you make a response. Because chances are you would have missed something that they said, which answers your very question, or your issue. Anyway, I already knew that people were going to disagree with me because after I made the video, I recognized that most people were excited for the game, and that's completely fine. Even before that, I realized, okay, well, most people like this game. This is how I feel. The whole point of why I made that video is because based on my opinion and my preferences in gaming, I was very tired of seeing female-led characters replacing male-led characters. Before everyone loses their mind, yes, I understand and I know completely that there is a great setup for Ciri to take over. I personally like the Witcher franchise for Geralt, not for Ciri. I don't mind her as a character, but it's not like she's my favorite thing in the world, and I don't know why that's personally upsetting to some people. As a woman myself, I like playing as male characters, and I find that a lot of the new story-oriented games, if they're not romance, which I don't mind, obviously if I'm playing in a romance game, I want to play as a female.
Why only in a romance game does Tomb Raider not exist to you?
Female character, but they always have these ugly looking or non-desirable characters that are not likable or are cosplaying or caricature.
I want to rewind what she just said, because remember when I said I didn't like what Fantastic Frankie had to say about Storm and how, oh, I like Chun-Li better because she's fun and she kicks ass, but no, Storm's always angry and she's always this. And then I asked the question where, oh, most definitely, Tina, most definitely, we're still doing Peacemaker. But I asked, I was like, what story did she pick from to come up to that conclusion? To say, well, I don't like Storm because she's always angry. It couldn't have been an animated series. She was never angry in that series. So what part of was it what stories was you reading? Was it Claremont's? Was it Stan Lee's? Was it Jim Lee? Who and why did you come up to that conclusion? It never was that. But listen to what she has to say about the females always ugly. You know what I'm saying? Think about the verbiage that she's saying.
I don't know why that's personally upsetting to some people. As a woman myself, I like playing as male characters, and I find that a lot of the new story-oriented games, if they're not romance, which I don't mind, obviously if I'm playing in a romance game, I want to play as a female character, but they always have these ugly-looking or non-desirable characters that are not likable or are
How are they not likable or non-desirable? Do you really go to and again, maybe this is just me, this just sound like a bunch of word salad, but when have I ever played a video game for a person to look good? What kind of creep or what kind of person am I when I'm looking at a character and be like, oh, she's sexy? What am I doing with that character after the video game is off? Is the question. So what the hell is she talking about? Like, I came to play a video game because I'm playing a game. I'm becoming the character. What the hell is it?
Playing or caricatures of the male characters that have been established in the franchise.
So right off the bat, she already showcases one of the main traits a lot of these grifters have, and that's judging a product before it even comes out and trying to sell their audience on the idea it's going to be woke propaganda or feminist garbage. In particular, Altiori was trying to do this with the Witcher 4 trailer.
When they do that, that's the deception. You haven't played anything, but you're already pushing out ideology to say this is what is going to be. That is deception, people. That is a grift.
Which had just come out around that time. Like she said, though, she's not really that familiar with the Witcher franchise, and she immediately jumped on this trailer and tried to say it was feminist propaganda just because it starred Geralt's daughter. She even admits she doesn't really know anything about the game, so it doesn't make any sense to jump to this extreme conclusion about it right away. Ultimately, this is a grift. It's her trying to sell her own personal beliefs on that all-female protagonists are bad on her audience by using a trending topic. And if you look at any of her videos from the past few years, you can see she's done this a lot. She uses trending topics as a vehicle to try to push her own agenda. Basically, grifting 101.
I see them do this with movies and TV, and for me personally, it's just something that I find very annoying and tiring and old. For me personally, it's annoying because it feels like it lacks creativity. And even if, in The Witcher's case, that's not necessarily what's going on because it's so inundated in the entertainment industry, I'm just personally tired whenever I see something like that, even if it makes sense for the story. which
even if
I'm
it
gonna
makes
still
sense for
die
the
on that
story,
hill and say
you're so mad about something, even though it goes along with the story. She's telling herself, if that's not a grift, I don't know what is. She's literally like, even if it makes sense to the story, I don't like it, and I'm gonna push that ideology to other people. That is literally, dude. I studied Hitler in college as part of my leadership development class, and people was like, why are you picking him? I said, well, from what I understand of the person, how can a dude with black hair, dark eyes, can tell everybody and make everybody believe everybody should be blonde haired and blue eyed? I am flabbergasted how he used his words and ideology to make people believe they should be blonde haired and blue eyed, but he wasn't that himself. Make it make sense to me. Ain't he led a nation to believe that? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's the same type of ideology. You're not even that, but you're gonna push that, even though it might go along with the story. You're still gonna put your own ideology. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane to me.
That I don't think Ciri requires the entire franchise when Geralt of Rivia has been the face of it all this time. That's just my opinion. Yes, put the man out to pasture by all means, but were there no other characters separate from his whole storyline that people could have explored with? As fans have said, it would be interesting if they could have a character creation, which I would have been more okay with because then I would have made a female and male character. But Ciri as a character is just not as interesting to me to warrant playing a whole game from her perspective. Shoot me. Wow, fuck, that's my opinion. And people are at liberty to disagree, but the vehemence with which people got so upset as though Ciri was their wife in real life is just crazy to me. Like, there are a lot of people that just disagreed and said why. Again, and I have to reiterate this because I think people are skipping over the video. I didn't say the game was going to be ass. I didn't know anything about the game. I said there's a chance.
Why are you talking about it?
But this is personally why I don't want to play it and why it looks uninteresting to me. I didn't say that it was lore breaking that Ciri was taking over from Geralt. I said that I believe, and I wouldn't put it past the studio having lore-breaking situations to have her character take over the franchise.
So basically the same thing. You're still calling this situation lore-breaking no matter what. How are you trying to get people to believe this here? You're trying to claim you didn't call this situation lore-breaking, but then 5 seconds later just calling it lore-breaking again. Make it make sense.
I even said I could be wrong because I didn't know what those would be or what those were if they even did have them. But the fact that she doesn't even look as powerful as she was in the previous game made me believe there was something to that. And I
made me believe you didn't play the game.
That I could be wrong about that.
So then why even try to speak on a topic that you're not even that familiar with?
Thank you. This is, oh my God. You know what's funny? Me and Mika just had this conversation the other day because I reached out to her. I was like, we were talking about Barbarian, and I think that's probably one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life. But I also was talking about, I said, after I got through on the live, I took a nap and I woke up. And because I always was like, oh, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 is so horrible. It's this and the other. It's one of the worst movies in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I mean, the worst one is a Nightmare on Elm Street remake. That is utter garbage. So I was like, you know what? I'm going off of nostalgia. Because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. Let me just rewatch it. I got the movie. Let me just rewatch it. Come to find out, it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's not good. You know, it's not as wacky as the Final Nightmare or whatever. But it's not as bad. It was still watchable. You know what I'm saying? It was still watchable. It still had the Freddy quips and stuff like that led over until Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare, and it wasn't as bad. And now when I can talk about that movie, like, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was because you know what? I gave it a chance. I wasn't saying, you know, I wasn't just dissing the movie and you was like, well, did you watch it? Well, not since I was 11. What are you talking about? Go back and watch it. You know, watch it with fresh eyes. Understand it. Sit down and give it a chance. Most of these people that grift don't give it a chance because it's easier to push ideology. What part of that people don't get is beyond me.
Showing people even more that you just jumped on a trending topic to try to push your own agenda. You've done this with How to Train Your Dragon or Lord of the Rings or the new Naughty Dog game. You've pretty much tried to pull every grifter trick in the book here. Yet it seems most people aren't even fooled by your weak attempts at deception here, so that's why you're getting called out.
So the lore comment that I made had nothing to do with the fact that Ciri was taking over from Geralt. Yes, it makes sense that, you know, for the realm of that universe, especially like giving the endings and stuff. So yeah, we agree on that. Yes, her taking over makes sense. We agree. And I think that was possibly a miscommunication on my part.
No, you just said over and over that you don't agree that her taking over makes sense. I don't understand Altiori's structure here. She'll say one thing, but then go back on it 5 seconds later. It's such an obvious grift going on, but she can't even bother to keep her points consistent for more than 1 nanosecond. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this except from a person like Gesturebell. It's freaking insane.
Flow the grifting comments though. And it's not the first time I've gotten comments about grifting. And I'm sure every other YouTuber has gotten these comments. It's not new.
Every other? Or
but
just...
It's so interesting that the grifting accusations only come out not when someone is actively grifting, like actually grifting.
You're
Sometimes it
grifted,
happens,
baby.
yes. But most times you will see someone get called a grifter is when they upset someone who didn't agree, you know, with that. Like if they upset someone who just finds what they said just so, you didn't.
No. When you're blatantly, literally, because the more you talk, the more you reveal yourself. That's why, sorry, Miss Roberta, but shutting the fuck up might work better, because the more that you're talking, the more that you are telling the audience that you're grifting. You don't know anything about the lore. You don't know anything about the game. You're not playing the game, or the game hasn't came out, but you're pushing an ideology upon an audience that's telling you, well, if you didn't play it, why are you even talking about it? Because you want to push your own identity, your own agenda. That is grifting. And then you're making these thumbnails and stuff like that, calling it trash and all of that, and you didn't even watch it. That is a grift, because you're actively participating in deception. This is it. You're actively participating in deception by your own accord, by your own mouth. If you don't watch it, you're not playing it, you're not doing anything, but then you got an opinion about it that's strong in the ideology that you push, and then you make the thumbnails and the titles engaging for people to bash on said product that you don't even know about. Baby, you are grifting. Simple.
Agree with me.
First off, no, people weren't calling you a grifter because they didn't agree with you. They were calling you a grifter for jumping on a trending topic that you seemingly know nothing about. You then proceeded to use that trending topic to try to push your own agenda of all female protagonists being bad, and people called you out on that. It was a very obvious grift, and that's why it was something that a lot of people called you a grifter for. It's really...
Metroid has been out since what, 1987? Female protagonist, one of the greatest female protagonists of all time. You don't like her?
Not that hard to see at all. And really, all it takes is one look at your channel, one simple scroll down to see that all your videos are about this.
Look,
when you review the Arc animated series...
Look, when she even... Again, look at what she has for Ironheart. That ain't grifting? You're telling me that isn't grifting? Women are mad that men aren't hitting on them. This is going to make people hate dogs. Steam gets censored. Games get removed. Okay. But when it came to Ironheart's writing, makes no sense. Finale. Isn't that what we were hearing all the grifters say? But then she doesn't have just one, because if the show was so bad, why the hell did you watch all of it? I'm going to try to catch it when it goes down. But look, you see how they got, why is the Ninja Turtle face on there? You call it evil? If that ain't grifted 101, I don't know what is. Because every other grifter did the same thing. Wait a minute. Yes, blame the audience for Ironheart's bad stereotypes. Riri is cray-cray. You don't even like, it seems like you use that type of language. Ironheart is dumb. Is a dumb something written. because I can't really read that.
About this.
Yeah, I can't even read that, but you see what I mean? This is literally out the page of grifters. It probably didn't even watch the show, didn't watch any good faith, none of that. This is just a grift.
When you reviewed the ARC animated series, even though you only reviewed 2 episodes of it, all you were talking about was the Aboriginal woman that was in the lead role and trying to call her a girl boss constantly.
What if he's of another culture and he's native? See, this is why Americans get shot. Because you go to these other countries and you see them eating shit, and you're like, how dare you, you inhumane, that you get a spear through your throat. It is so annoying.
You didn't have anything to say hardly at all about the contents of each episode, except when it had to do with the Aboriginal woman that's the lead character and constantly shaming her for being a lesbian and Aboriginal. And really, you're doing the same thing here, just with a character from The Witcher. It's no different. You are still trying to push your own personal agenda, and people called you out for that.
Exactly.
And this comment that I'm going to show you next, right here, is one of the examples. So here's the comment. I already replied to this person, but I also wanted to showcase this because this kind of mindset is called an echo chamber. I don't know how talking about an announcement trailer for a game and explaining why I, as a female, am tired of seeing hand-me-down female characters, even if it makes sense to the story, like the Indiana Jones movie with Phoebe Waller, whatever her name was, and the fact that a trailer looks unappealing to me automatically turns into this political left or right take. The person says, before I used to like your channel because you used to have the middle ground opinion, never choosing a right or left take, whatever the fuck that means. But lately, I do feel like you're becoming a...
So when he said, you know, the middle ground opinion, never have any right, they mean that you had an independent take on certain things. It wasn't far left-winging, and it wasn't far right-winging. It was just down the middle. She doesn't even know what that means. Do you know how daft you have to be to not know that your opinion, when somebody says your opinion, never choosing a right or left take, but you don't know what that means? You know,
grifter.
Like, are y'all okay? Or
I don't know how this turned into choosing a side, because as far as I know, my take on the game trailer is so in the minority that almost everybody universally disagrees with me. So I don't see how that can be a right or left issue when right and left people are disagreeing with me universally. I never said anything about woke in that video at all. I never said anything about Siri being a girl boss, which technically, if you want to look into the realms of the definition, she kind of really is.
Huh, what do you know? Yet another example of her saying something, then going back on it 5 seconds later. I can't believe this woman.
He's beating her up, but her voice is starting to get annoying. The former media, thank you so very much for the $2 super chat. That's why I stopped following her after The Last of Us. I don't even know who this person is, but her voice makes me want to throw myself out of my car. But you know what I want to do? Give you this.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
You wanna be my enemy.
All right. Let's finish this up. Good God, this is starting to get her voice.
And the thing is, usually you don't actually say the word woke in most of your videos, but your thoughts on this matter and the attempt to appeal to the anti-woke crowd are very obvious. Like I said before, not every grifter uses the word woke in their videos, but their actions and what they're trying to do and what they're trying to sell people on make it very obvious. Ultimately, whether Altiori wants to admit it or not, she is an anti-woke grifter. And this is a message she is trying to sell to people.
Exactly.
In the gaming world, even though she seems to be nerfed in that trailer. That wasn't the point of my video. But the next sentence is what really gets me, because this is the crux of the issue. The person then says, how anyone can watch that trailer and not be interested must be brain dead insane.
I want her to shut up.
So let me get this straight, because I didn't find the trailer interesting. That means I'm brain dead insane. I don't give a fuck how old she is. Her character looks rough and weird. I'm not taking it back. Could just be the way it's shot in certain instances with the warping. I don't know. But the fact that I didn't agree with you automatically means that I am becoming a grifter because I somehow chose a side.
Just own it, baby.
I didn't like a video game trailer, or I wasn't interested in it. Could you probably understand why I can't stand people? Why I'd rather hang out with animals rather than human beings?
Huh, maybe because animals won't call you out on grifting. Perhaps that's why. But also, maybe if you had just said the trailer didn't hook you and left it at that, people wouldn't be calling you a grifter. But given the reason you keep saying this game is going to be bad is because it has a female protagonist, is why people keep calling you an anti-woke grifter. It really isn't that hard to see at all.
Now on to the definition of grift, or particularly grifter. A con artist. Someone who swindles people out of money.
That's why I read it earlier.
Cambridge Dictionary. Someone who gets money dishonestly by tricking people. So by that definition, if you were getting conned out of your money and I came up to you and told you, I'm going to give you a product as I advertised it, and you give me money and I leave and you never hear from me again, you can't even reach me.
She's black.
And you find out that what was in the box is actually a rock or some kind of fleshlight when you wanted a freaking console.
Hold up.
That is grifting.
The thing is, though, the kind of grifting...
Hold up. She's black? Wait a minute, J. Carter. You playing. You playing. She out here tasting the biscuits. You gotta be kidding. Somebody with that annoying voice. Y'all, you playing with me. I think you playing with me, J. Carter 88. You gotta show, you gotta send me something to prove to me that you gotta prove to me. No, you telling me she got a bag full of flowers and some what? Hold up, wait a minute. Hold up. Are we talking about the girl who's talking right now? This lady, whatever her name is, we're talking about the one that's right now. That's who I'm talking about. Are you telling me that she's black and she's out here tasting the biscuits? Now you gotta, okay, hit me up on my Instagram. Hit me up on my Instagram and send me her whatever. Hit me up. I gotta see this for myself. I need proof. I need proof. Or go to my X. I don't really use it, but go to my X, the Dre Mac Show on X. Send me her stuff on my inbox right now. Go send me that on my inbox right now. Cause
you're doing here isn't necessarily selling a product, but selling a bad faith, misinformed idea. The idea that you're trying to sell here in the majority of your videos is that women protagonists in games, movies, books, whatever, are all bad. That's why you've made constant videos whining about girl bosses for the last few years here. You were trying to push this own agenda of yours.
Exactly.
If I sell you a Ponzi scheme, that is grifting. What grifting is not is someone making a video that you don't have to click on or buy anything from, that is merely stating their opinion on something that you don't agree with, and that makes you upset because the person doesn't agree with you or shucks and jives the way you wanted them to.
But you're shucking and jiving for an audience that does not care about you. You are doing, see, when people talk about shucking and jiving, you're shucking and jiving to, she might be black, she use shucking and jiving. I don't know too many white people that use shucking and jiving. But when you're shucking and jiving to push an agenda to your audience, you're pandering. You're doing the same thing. You're pandering to an audience. That's what you're doing. You're not informing anybody. You're not giving real critique. You're pandering. You know what I mean? And just like Erica D said, you know, you're selling whatever that makes for clicks, revenue. Exactly. Yeah, D Stizzle. I gotta find out. Did you just send this to me? What link is this? Maverick 77. What's that? What's the link? Hold up. I'm in that majority too, but Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. 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 Yo. I gotta open up another. I gotta open it. This is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh God, get out of here, young Ripper. Oof. All that crying you was doing. I told you there's a lot more of these people just tasting the biscuits. I told y'all. Yo. This is sad. Hold up, I'm about to share it. This is sad. This is sad. And she said, Arterio face reveal. And was like she's black. I don't care what she looks like. What I don't understand is this need to expose her identity. I can't believe that she's black. See, this is what I'm saying. You out here grifting and people saying, well, her fur is black. This is why you can't be out here grifting. This is why you can't be. They don't like you. Why are you saying the same talking points when they don't like you? You know what? For this, I gotta go to a commercial break because you already know, man. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Max Show. Jeez.
Hey, y'all, I got a great new album in the mail today.
I don't like the way the honey sauce dripping on my chicken wings. My chicken wings. But I got the honey sauce. The honey sauce for your chicken wings. For your chicken wings. Yeah.
This is a fantastic album, man. Let me borrow it.
No, my brother. You've got to buy your own.
We now return to the Transformers.
I think that was most definitely appropriate for just that. Oh God. Boy, hey. Yo, J. Carter. Hey, yo. Wow. Oh, wow. This makes it even more egregious. And then, baby, you got a white character with the you know, that's in anime with the titties out. De-stizzle. They out here, they out here tasting the biscuits. And you know what, DeAndre? You know, I've seen more and more people, truth be told, that are not FBAs, which means Foundational Black Americans, that have the nerves to talk about black people and stuff like that, more than some of these white folks do. She identifies as a biscuit. So they have the nerves to talk about FBAs, but they love our style, they love our swagger, they all of that. So, wow, you learn something new every day.
You know, you see this happen like all the time with review movies or people who do reviews on movies and stuff. And even
They
when I
don't
used
like
to do that,
themselves
everybody
and
would get
they
upset the minute you have anything negative
made
to
us
say about
not
something.
like ourselves
Some
and
people are
love their
saying
wealth.
the grift is obvious, but I don't understand what the grift is supposed to be if I'm doing what I have always done on this channel, which is talk about things that I want to talk about.
The thing is, though, you're not doing what you've always done on this channel, as you claim here. Your videos actually used to be mostly about dragon and dinosaur-related content, but then once you realized that anti-woke grifting is really profitable, you switched to that.
I'm trying to tell you, she ain't the only black person I done caught. He ain't the only black person, because somebody blacked me. Somebody completely blacked me, was talking all kinds of stuff. But then I came to find out that they were a grifter. I came to find out they was hanging with the Eric Julies and the neurotics and all of that. This ain't the thing. She ain't the first one. This out there grifting. This ain't with Eric Julies or whatever. At least they honest about their grift. At least they come out and say all the buzzwords about DEI, SAWs, and all of that stuff. But then it makes it even worse what she said about Ironheart. It makes it even worse because a young black girl being a tech genius, all of that. You might not like the show. That's okay. It's okay not to like the show. Critique it. Tell me why you don't like it. It has nothing to do with DEI, nothing to do with woke, nothing to do with the permanent talking points that all the other grifters are saying. Tell me why you don't like it in your own words. But it's money in grifting. Keep telling y'all that's why they do it. It's a lot of money in grifting. And Candace Owens made a lot of money grifting. She did. She made a lot of money grifting.
Why the majority of your content isn't even about dinosaurs or dragons anymore, the things you're actually passionate about. You'd rather create more inflammatory content like this and try to sell people on this idea that all female protagonists are bad. But now that we've established that Altieri is a grifter and not a real critic, although she will try to claim the opposite here, obviously, I want to turn your attention to something else. The person who's pretty much the poster child for anti-woke or bad faith criticism on YouTube is the Critical Drinker.
Yes,
a lot of his videos are poised as movie reviews when really they're not really reviewing the movie at all and just trying to create anti-woke propaganda constantly. Much like all these grifters, Drinker always hits the same talking points and keeps hitting the same stone over and over, like trying to crap on the same people constantly, like Brie Larson or Rachel Ziegler, and probably his favorite one, Daisy Ridley. He even reviewed a rather obscure movie of hers from earlier this year that was basically a Die Hard clone with her having an autistic brother in it. Of course, the fact that there was an autistic person in this movie is the reason why I personally went to see it, and I was the only one in the theater. But inevitably, Drinker will just go to see any movie that happens to have Daisy Ridley in it to try to find a way to crap on it. Wow. One thing I want to do here, though, is take a look at one of his most notorious reviews, that being his review of Glass Onion. For those unaware, Drinker made a notoriously very bad faith review of Glass Onion simply because he doesn't like Rian Johnson, the man who directed this film. Also, for those somehow not in the know, Rian Johnson directed The Last Jedi, which is basically every anti-woke grifter's favorite punching bag. So, of course, therein lies the motivation for Drinker to basically bash any film that Rian Johnson directs. He also did the same thing with the first Knives Out as well. However, it was his Glass Onion review that gained a lot of notoriety for him just straight up lying about different scenes in order to sell this idea that Rian Johnson is consistently a terrible filmmaker.
What did he say? Lying, being deceitful. This is what we talk about with the grift. They're always, it's always a lie. And shout out to Janelle Monáe. We actually went to school together. But shout out because she's from where I'm from. Used to go to Eisenhower Middle School with her. Shout out to Janelle Monáe for her role in Glass Onion. But yeah, it's literally it's telling you bad faith reviews, going in there, saying just lying to be able to push propaganda. That's it.
He does this all throughout this review, but one of the most notable examples is where he's talking about the scene where Blanc spots Dave Bautista's character seeing his girlfriend in an affair with Miles. In particular, he tries to claim that Ryan rewrote this scene because he's a bad filmmaker and a total hack. When, in actuality, if you play these scenes with the sound on, which, mysteriously enough, when Drinker decided to talk about this, he muted these clips, you can actually see exactly why it shows up like this.
And this isn't even mentioning how Ryan blatantly rewrites previous events to show you what he wants you to see instead of what actually happens. This scene where Bautista's watching his girlfriend supposedly having an affair with Miles only to be observed by Blanc. Now look at the later version of this exact same scene. Notice how Helen's been added in here when she totally should have been visible before.
Ryan didn't go back and rewrite anything here. He gave context to an earlier scene. When we first see this scene with Blanc spotting Dave Bautista's character seeing his girlfriend in an affair, we hear a twig snap. and at first we're led to assume that it's Blanc that caused this twig to snap when he peeked out from the bush. Later, we're shown more of this scene, and we actually get to see that it was Helen who caused the twig to snap, and she was there watching with Blanc. There's a slight bit of foreshadowing to the full truth of this scene when it's first shown, and later we get the full truth when the scene is shown again with more context. Ryan is not going back and rewriting anything here whatsoever, so this really is just Drinker straight up misrepresenting this scene and lying about it. It's become very clear at this point that Drinker just wants any kind of shade he can throw at Ryan on this film, even if it's not real at all, and he has to make it up. This is perhaps...
Are you telling me you don't like the Drinker's voice when he talks about movies?
Perhaps the most obvious sign that this is just straight up bad faith criticism and grifting. Now, let's compare Drinker's review of Glass Onion to a review of a much older movie that was actually a huge influence on both Knives Out and Glass Onion, that being Clue. In particular, let's look at what perhaps two of the most famous film critics of all time, Siskel and Ebert, had to say about Clue. Now, just to preface, I don't consider Siskel and Ebert to be that great of critics. They're actually not my favorite at all. There's definitely some takes on films that I personally don't agree with that they had, although that doesn't make them bad critics per se. There were also some methods they took.
But that's the same. That's the same thing I said about Jeremy Jones when I was listening to his reviews. I don't like movies, and I don't like nothing. All I like is whiskey and talking on my box with dudes. God, can't stand his voice. Anyway, that's the same thing I said about Jeremy Jahns earlier. Not everything Jeremy Jahns that I'm going to agree with, but what I am going to do is listen to his fair criticism. That's it. What up, Johnny? But I'm going to listen to his fair criticism, whether I agree with it or not. It's his opinion. Is he giving a fair criticism of something and he's not using buzzwords like DUI or whatever I say next? I don't know. I can't stand his voice. I can't do his voice, and I wouldn't want to, because if I had his voice, I'll literally try to chop mine out.
With criticizing films that I personally don't agree with either, but that doesn't make them bad critics. As we'll see here, they have a very different way of reviewing Clue than how Drinker reviewed Glass Onion.
Our next film is based on the 40-year-old board game Clue, and it starts out in a very funny way with a whole bunch of characters assembling in a mansion, all have familiar names, Miss Scarlet, Mrs. White, Colonel Mustard, all taken from the board game. They all share the same secret. They're all being blackmailed by the same man.
I, too, am being blackmailed for something I didn't do.
So how did you know Colonel Mustard works in Washington? Is he one of your clients?
Certainly not.
I was asking Miss Scarlet.
Well, you tell him it's not true.
It's not true.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
So it is true.
A double negative. Double negative? You mean you have photographs? That sounds like a confession to me. In fact, the double negative has led to proof positive. I'm afraid you gave yourself away. Are you trying to make me look stupid in front of the other guests?
Don't need any help from me, sir.
That's right.
As long as the talented cast is cracking one-liners, Clue is kind of fun, but the verbal gags last for less than half the film.
Why is that funny? I see. That's why he was lying on his back in his coffin. I didn't kill him.
Then why are you paying the blackmailer?
I don't want a scandal, do I?
There's some pretty funny gags there, and that one about the crossing of the legs. That is a classic. Now, after those gags early in the film, there's a murder, and that's where the movie falls apart, as all the characters begin running around the mansion as if they were mice in a maze. And then there's the matter of the film's ending. It has been well advertised by Paramount Pictures that 3 different endings, lasting about 3 minutes apiece, were filmed for this movie, revealing 3 different murderers. Well, think about it. If we know that walking into the movie, then we really can't get too excited about guessing who done it, because, think about it, literally anybody could have done it, and anybody did do it. 3 different people did do it.
Yes,
And
Rashad
that
Walker.
cuts the heart out of the tension of a mystery. Now,
And he was the
Paramount
original
should have showed
Ed.
all 3 endings, as they did to critics, or, better yet, simply strengthen the script and pick the best murder ending of all.
I think it would have been better just to do all 3 endings, because since you're right, it doesn't matter who did it, then why do we only get one person who did it? I thought it was kind of clever that the same facts fit 3 different guilty parties, and so it would be fun to see all 3. I'll bet that's what they do with a video cassette. They're going to have to throw all 3 endings in. What are you going to do, buy 3 cassettes?
No.
I used to sit and watch Siskel and Ebert religiously when I was a kid. Religiously. No matter what they talked about, it was always interesting because they were talking about movies, which I was, especially as a kid, I was always intrigued to watch. So I watched Siskel and Ebert. And I do agree. Everything, if you agree with everything somebody says, you're a puppet too. You know what I mean? But even with this movie, they have a difference of opinion. But do you hear how they're breaking down the movie? They're breaking down scenes in the movie and why you have this and why you have that. Very dope.
In order to find out when he didn't care in the first place who did it?
I will say this. I've seen all 3 endings. The critics got to do that. The public didn't. And the theaters are marked A, B, and C where they're playing. Now, Paramount doesn't want me to do this, but...
Okay, so let's both of us
do it at once.
Okay.
The best ending, I think the funny thing is A.
I agree.
What's the best? So go to a theater if you go at all, and I don't know whether you should go at all. And an A theater. Stay away from the worst, which is C.
Right.
Hey, you're smart.
To make it even easier, probably be best if you didn't go to this movie at all.
Now, while I don't completely agree with Siskel and Ebert's review on Clue here, I actually personally like that movie a good deal. I can see they still did give a good faith review of it. They highlighted the things they like about the film, such as the cast and the fact there's a lot of great chemistry between them and a lot of great gags throughout the film too. And they also highlighted the things they don't like about the film, such as the multiple endings and the fact they feel that kind of takes away from the overall whodunit mystery. They don't constantly try to nitpick little things about the film or constantly try to take shots at the people behind it and the people that made it. That's exactly what Drinker is constantly doing here in his review of Glass Onion. He takes every shot at Rian Johnson and just nitpicks little things about the film or just straight up misrepresents them. There is no good faith here and not really any good criticism whatsoever either. While I don't think Siskel and Ebert are necessarily the most in-depth or nuanced critics out there, they still provided a much better criticism of a murder mystery romp than Drinker ever could here. It's kind of wild that a review from 2 guys from 40 years ago now on national television is far better than any review that Critical Drinker has pretty much ever been able to put out. Chris Stockman and Dan Murrell also made much better reviews of Glass Onion than Drinker did. Rather than just whining about Rian Johnson the entire time in the current state of Hollywood, they just talked about the things they liked about the movie and the things they didn't. See? Really not that hard, Drinker. Try to be like these guys. Overall, while there are different kinds of grifters out there, and it's important to spot that stuff, there really is only one kind of good faith criticism. It's the kind that's just being honest. At the end of the day, giving real criticism is giving your honest thoughts about a piece of media and giving nuance to why you think that way. There shouldn't be any kind of agenda pushing or bad faith going on, just your honest, nuanced thoughts about a piece of media. Unfortunately, there are a lot of these grifter types out there that do the complete opposite of this. That's why people like me, Anthony, Birdman, Moves with Mark, Pillar of Garbage, SK, and all the rest have started calling out these people because we are pretty tired of it. I would much rather see more nuanced, legit criticism out there than just a constant grift. And thankfully, it does seem like a lot of other people feel the same way, and there's been a lot of encouragement for me to keep doing this series. And while not every video is going to be me dissecting grifters here, I do just cover film and animation overall, it is something that I'm more than happy to do and hopefully educate people on what real criticism looks like. I'm very glad a lot of people enjoy these videos, and I'm more than happy to keep up hunting griftly bears. Thanks, everyone. But what do you think? Am I wrong? Are these grifters actually right?
Hey, great video. Great video from Outerly Noah. Great video. Now, y'all probably go, Kino Flex probably going to get on me, but it's like, he didn't do a face reveal. You didn't say nothing about him. He doesn't have a face. You know what? You're right. You're right. But the reason why I said some of y'all are hiding behind faceless content because it's easier to grift with the faceless content than to actually show your face if you really believe the grift that you're actually pushing. That's all. That's all I was saying.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I mean, I've been going on almost 2 hours, and I still need to run and go do stuff. But I appreciate this. Was fun. This was fun. Shout out to Outerly Noah for the video. Oh, you did? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this video. This is the second one that I've reacted to. So shout out to Outerly Noah. You know, keep putting up the grip work. I keep reacting because y'all stuff is funny. You know what I mean? So I keep reacting. I'll be the anti-Tyrone Magnus. I react to all the stuff he don't like. But again, thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Mac Show. What you think about this video? Put it in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe power, man. Enjoy the rest of you guys this Wednesday. Where's my outro at? My man Knuckles is going to be defending the grip. But you know, get them biscuits because I got to go.
Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over?
What?
Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.